door quickly. Sorry. Good evening. This is Sue. I'm speaking from Essex today, and hope you've all had a great bank holiday weekend. And it's not been as nice as we expected, but you know, hey ho, you make what it is. So you're going to join with tonight for the webinar. We've got lots of news for you and some interesting packages that have just been announced. And so it's really just trying to make you aware of everything that's available for you as distributors. And so thank you for joining us. Please do share this with your teams as well, because it's important that everyone gets this so we can create a synergy as well. We're here in the UK until next week, and then we go back to Spain. So I'm missing the sunshine in Spain, that's for sure. But hey ho, you just have to put up with what you're given, don't you? So I would ask you please to just announce that you can hear and see me. It would be really grateful if you could, just in the chat box, and so that I know that everyone can hear and see me. Please, anyone? So who have we got on already? Got something. Hi Marie, Ruth and George. Can you just please say yes? Great. Marie can hear me in Spain, then I guess anyone else can hear me as well. So I'm just going to share my screen with you, so bear with me while I do this. Okay, so this is me, Sue Booth. Little bit about myself. I've been in the business, in the networking business, for over 25 years in total. 19 of those years were with one company. And when that company changed direction, Nigel and I decided that it was a sensible move for us to go and look for something that was going to create an income into our later years. And we're both 61, nearly 62. And so when we came across Jeunesse, we knew that this company was going places. In such a short time, it's developed hugely around the globe. We're in over 121 different countries. We're set to do $2 billion plus this year, and it's going to be our 7th year. So that's an astonishing achievement for a company that is so young. And thank you, George, for letting me know. Well done. So I'm just going to literally click through this, and thank you again, as I say, for joining us tonight. So first of all, I just want to recap on a few things, because Julie Tatajuk, who's our GM for UK and Northern Europe, has started doing her own webinars on Thursdays. And this is a replay from last Thursday. So this is really designed at distributors only. And Julie is really spearheading the UK and Northern Europe to really accelerate both activity and volume, because they want us to be #1, especially us in the UK. So sorry about you in Europe. But we want to be that #1, or at least 1 or 2 in the volume throughout the company. So watch out for the meetings information, which will come via email. For those of you in the UK, I really encourage you to go on to these, because this is where you're going to get all the up-to-date information. And I shall be covering some of that information. But as you can see, there is a link at the top of this one, and that is the recording for that. It is for distributors only, so please do not pass on to your guests. So the whole thing, we should be posting all the meetings that etc. on Flawless Diamond Group, which is a closed page for distributors for our group only. So we also ask you just support these meetings, because this is where your business takes place, and it's important that we get some energy and synergy, group synergy going. And I think that's sometimes lacking, because people say, well, I'm in that team or the other team. It makes no difference. We are one team, one family, one Jeunesse, as the little saying goes, and it's a great saying. So we've got some meetings coming up in the UK. The next one is the 14th of June, 2016, and that is going to be in Covent Garden at the Rooms at Browns. So it's a lovely venue. It's WC2N4AG, and that will come out. I also posted that on Flawless Diamond Group, so it's there for distributors. It's open to guests and distributors and is totally free. We're going to be joined on that day by a gentleman called Craig Schultz, who is a diamond director from Australia. So it's important that you hear from other people doing different things. Craig is had a personal training company, you know, he's a great advocate of the Zen and all the products, in fact. So and then also you'll be joined by Julie Tatachuk as well. Again, she's a lovely lady, so get along to meet her. Take your guests as well, because it's about creating that energy in the room. And the last meeting that I was at, after a very, very long day at the Excel Centre in London, I went to the meeting. I was 5 minutes late, but they just started, and it was so worth it. There were 150 people there, and all of a sudden, you know, the buzz that happens in the room is something special. So make sure you get along to a meeting near you, wherever that may be. Okay, we also have a training, and this is a distributor-only training in London. This is just about to be launched and promoted. This was only given to us on Thursday, so it's a training session with Luigi Di Salvo. He's the business development for Europe, and he's Italian, as you can imagine. And it's going to be on Saturday, the 25th of June, at the Holiday Inn London. That's the Kensington Forum, and you will need to book for that. It's $10 per person, and I believe that that's coming out within an email within the company any day now. So if you can get there, please do. And remember, it's distributors only. He's going to be sharing some of his knowledge over the past 16, 18 years to how to really increase your business and increase your customer base, all the things that you need to know. So it's a really, you know, important one to try to get to. Nigel shall hopefully be flying over from Spain for that, and even though it's a short, you know, kind of training session, it will be definitely worthwhile. So make sure you try and get to that. Okay, lots of things coming up. They announced in Rome that we were going to have a university in Netherlands, and in fact, Netherlands can't find a venue for us that has enough seats. How incredible is that? You know, we were expecting lots of you know, kind of people to attend, and the Rome was around about 5,500 people, and they're now talking that it's got to be between 6,000 and 8,000 people. So that's a huge venue to have at reasonably short notice. So it's November 18th to 20th. Early bird tickets will be available in June only, and so this won't be advertised until June. And literally early birds are half price, as opposed to, you know, August, September price, and there will be no discounting of the ticket price as we go on, because there are so many people attending. So, you know, get yourself over, you know the date now, get yourself over to Berlin, and we can meet a lot of our distributors in Germany, which will be great to see them again. And these are really worthwhile places to attend. And the reason being, you just learn so much from other distributors within the company, and it's usually pretty good fun as well, which is even better. So that should be a fun thing to look forward to, 18th to 20th of November. Okay, now what was announced? We have the new skincare packages have just been launched, and these new skincare packages are really with the new, you know, kind of luminous refresh packaging. We were allowed to order some of these when we were in Rome, and I've been guarding mine carefully so no one uses it except me. And these packages are now being launched. Now just be aware that there are they're very similar names within the back office, so it's really important that you open up and make sure that it's you know, the package that you want. So I'm just going to run through those very quickly. and why you should consider having some of these, you know, because if you've got people starting, it's a great way to start, and you get additional product in there as well, which is even better. Okay, so the first new skincare package, the Supreme. This is £349. That's 300 CV. I haven't got the equivalent in euros, so my apologies. You're going to get 2 bottles of Luminous Serum. You're going to get 1 bottle of the Daily Moisturizing Complex, 1 jar of night cream, 1 youth restoring cleanser, 1 essential body renewal, and 3 boxes of Instantly Ageless. That gives the sponsor bonus to for the first order of $100 to the sponsor, but also it will qualify that person to be Pearl for 60 days. That means you're going to get paid down 2 levels. So it's a really great place to be if you're actively starting to build. But let's look at this in a slightly different way. Look at the amount of product that you actually have there, and then actually retail profit is available. So your distributor price is $349. It's the equivalent of a retail price of $562. So that means that you're going to make a 60% profit if you were to sell those items. So again, you can retail them, no problem at all. So this is a really good way of actually getting product at a slightly cheaper price, but also, you know, making the maximum profit that you can if you're selling to people. So that's the Supreme package. The Skincare Jumbo package. Now this one's you get more product, and it's a little bit more expensive. It's got the euro price in here as well. So £528.10 for the jumbo package, and also €665. 400 CV. That's going to give the first order bonus to the sponsor of $200 and make that person Sapphire for 90 days. That means that you'll get paid down 3 levels. And if you're building a business, that's an exceptional place to be and be able to start. You're going to get 2 bottles of the serum, 2 of the Daily Moisturizing Complex, 2 of the Advanced Night Repair, 2 of the Youth Restoring, okay, I should just go through, 2 of everything. So you've got the Essential Body Renewal Gel, Reserve Gel Packs as well. So you've got some of the nutritional products there, and 2 boxes of Instantly Ageless. Again, let's equate that to what is that going to be as your distributor price versus the retail. So look at this, it's £528 in wholesale price, but that's the equivalent of £877 retail profit. In retail profit. So you've got a 66% profit. So it's going up constantly. It's about shopping smarter, and it's a very easy thing to share if you've got the product there and then. And then also the ambassador package is available as well. And we've got the ambassador package is £694.86 or €875. That's 500 CV. It's going to give the first order sponsor of $250 to that sponsor, and it's going to make the person who's purchased it Sapphire for 180 days. That's 6 months. And you're basically going to get 3 of the serum, 3 of the Daily Moisturizer, 2 of the night cream, 2 of the Restoring Cleanser, 2 body renewal, 3 Instantly Ageless, and 3 boxes of Reserve Gel Packs. Again, it's being cost effective and being sensible about how you order, and make sure, even if you were to use that all yourself, then it's a great way of starting out. But what's that going to give you in the profit available? So that's $694 in distributor price, and then that's a retail price of $1,171. So it's giving you a 69% profit. So that profit has increased dramatically just from those packages. So you've got a complete 9% extra from the original of the Supreme. So again, think sharp, think smarter. And so if people are actually wanting to go down that route, then they have to go about it in a certain way. And so you can't just, that has to be for a first order. So you need to go through in a certain way. If you need to know how that works, then you need to contact us so we can help you through that. Okay, so I'm just going to really kind of cover up on the rest of what was covered. The UK corporate Facebook page, it's basically been relaunched. There's lots of different Facebook pages with saying that it's UK, but the corporate Facebook page is the one that you need to make sure you are part of, because it's essential that you get all the up-to-date news as soon as possible, so you can share it with your downline. So the whole aim that Julie wants is that she wants to put 1 or 2 posts per day, some inspirational content to help us, quizzes, tutorials, and the event flyer information. So you'll just get all the up-to-date information as soon as you can. And this is really going to cover European and some global information as well. So I'm now going to, I just saw him disappear with the dog actually. I'm now going to hand you over to Nigel, and Nigel's going to take you through very quickly just about how to get started and actually create some duplication within this, because this is what is so essential. So bear with me, and here's Nigel.
Hello everybody. Just wanted to share some things in terms of the basics of this as a business, and I was prompted to do this because the more I look at where people go wrong, the more I kind of recognize that they're actually not doing really simple things that fool people into believing this is a complicated business. And that might sound like a bit of a contradiction. I suppose it is in many ways, but actually this is a really, really simple business. People overcomplicate it for themselves because they actually start to evaluate this as probably everybody else. But essentially we start to look for the results that we're likely to get, rather than continuing to use the process that creates the result. I touched on this last week when Ruth came on and shared her experiences of talking about whether and how she changed the things she was doing, very simple changes that actually made her much more productive. And productivity creates results. It simply doesn't happen without the activity. The unfortunate thing is that we all prejudge what those results are likely to be, what they might be, what we'd like them to be. The things that we invest in those results stop the activity from happening to produce them, because we get fearful of the outcome. And actually, this is a business about duplication. And I've replicated it here 3 times. Duplication, duplication, duplication. What do I mean by it? Well, essentially, it's this duplication of activity. It's not a duplication of people. And this is where part of where the confusion lies in terms of people's assessment of success. And something that was triggered in my mind when we went to Rome last. We sat in an audience of 5,000 odd people. We'd been to Paris in October and sat with 2,500, 3,000 there. And we have, as you will all know, talked about the energy that is created in those big meetings. The motivation, the excitement, the community, the sort of sharing that goes on across the world with people from different walks of life. We were actually walking around Rome with Ruth and Dennis, her partner, Sue and I, and we bumped into a group in the Colosseum of French guys who were all dressed with their Jeunesse t-shirts. We weren't branded in the same way, but Sue in her usual fashion confronted, not in a sort of aggressive way, but said, "Oh, you guys are with Jeunesse," and it was just like we could have spent the whole day with them if we'd wanted to. That's the sort of thing that begins to happen when you realize you're part of this much wider community. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because part of this process of duplication is actually rooted in the essence of trust and faith that we develop in the business we're associated with. Now, that tends to take a bit of time. And I just revisited a book that I read some years ago. I was introduced to by a colleague of ours in another network, called The Speed of Trust by Covey. He wrote 7 Habits of Effective People or something along that line. Stephen Covey, that's it. I couldn't remember his Christian name. And he talks about how trust actually is so easily lost and won very difficult. It's very difficult to win it properly. But it's the essence of why people will do things without question. And ultimately, that trust is driven by the process of the values that are communicated by the organization that you're involved with. So Jeunesse, one of the things that Jeunesse does in these big events that it runs is it creates that element of trust because people understand it more. Because they understand it more, they can identify with it more, and they can focus on where the interaction, the interplay is with the reasons why they as individuals are doing this and the corporation itself is doing it. Again, I mentioned this last time round in terms of, you know, why we do this and why Jeunesse does this. And it's ultimately about the empowerment of people to help them to move from one place in their lives towards something that's better for them, greater for them, as well as greater for the company. See, the company's isn't rooted in this idea of profit. It's rooted in this idea of people and helping people to achieve that much more. And in essence, that fundamentally is driven by this process of the duplication of activity, not the duplication of people. We duplicate our activity in like-minded people, but each of us is, as an individual, going to do what we do differently. Inevitably, we will. You know, I can't kick a football like David Beckham. I can kick a football. But if I could duplicate what he does, I'd have been a footballer. I'm probably dating myself a bit right now, but that doesn't really make that much difference. What I'm saying is that essentially you can duplicate the activity. You'll duplicate it to a level that enables you to become as successful as you can be. However, and this is the key here is that your upline, and I'm going to repeat this pretty much in every webinar I do from now on, your upline has an interest in what you do because their success is predicated on yours. Their wish is to help you become as successful as you can. If you have the capacity to be a David Beckham, they're going to give you as much as they possibly can until you outgrow them. Let me repeat that. They're going to give you as much as they possibly can until you outgrow them. Because it's their role to get you to duplicate the activity as successfully as possible. The managers who train top footballers, the coaches who train top footballers, have very often been top in their own time. You know, the Jose Mourinho's of this world, the Ranieris of this world, the guys at the top of the game are brilliant coaches and great managers of people. They're no longer great footballers. That's not because they weren't. It's because they're older now, but they're also a lot wiser. So they're teaching skills and activity and attitudes to people that turns the great potential footballer into a really great footballer. And you can perhaps provide a little analogy here in the sense that I'm watching our step-grandson come up through the academy system in football. He's very, very talented. And he and I have had numbers of conversations about what talent really means. It gives you the potential for success. But the talent's one thing, but if you don't go on working on your talent to produce great results, it doesn't matter how talented you are, you can reach a point where if you're not motivated, you simply don't duplicate the things the great players do, and you don't become one. That doesn't mean to say you don't have the talent to do it. The difference is the motivation to do it. And if you get that kind of grasp in your head, it doesn't matter what you know now, who you are now, what you have in terms of education, how much intelligence you have, your skills as they sit right now, it's no matter whatsoever. You simply have to use the skills and the experience and the opportunity your upline offers to help you become more than you are fast, and duplicate that process, and you can build the biggest network the world's ever seen. So this is part of what I'm going to be drumming on about, because this duplication of activity will set you on the path to creating a brilliant networking business if you do what you are taught to do. And unfortunately, lots of people out there go, yeah, and then go off and do it their own way. So back to the very basics, and this is a repetition again, and I'm a great believer in repetition, very simply because people don't get it first time round. And I know people who've been in this industry for many, many years and still don't get it. That's not to say they can't, it's just to say they've decided they're going to go their own way, do it their own way. And that's fine, but essentially they're ignoring point 2 here. They're not being teachable. They're actually judging what their outcomes will be. So the essence of this is, first of all, understand why you're motivated to do this. Know your why. If you don't know what that is, talk to us. We'll help you to identify what that is, because I'm a great believer in the fact that if you don't understand what it is that makes you do things, why you're motivated, what you're focused upon and where you're going, then you're not likely to be teachable about the direction that we're moving in. Third thing, be a product of the product. You must have trust in these products. Get yourself into the product in a way which allows you to understand and appreciate how effective they are. I am a great believer in what Jeunesse has done. And remember this. This is a company that's gone from 0 to $1.1 billion in annual revenues in 6 years. There isn't another company in the history of direct sales, MLM, whatever you like to call it, that's ever achieved that. That's been done on just 13 products. So not only is it unheard of for a company to reach that level of revenue that quickly, I don't think there's ever been a company that's reached $1 billion on just 13 products. That fundamentally underpins the way the business actually works, and that the products go on being bought. And that's such an essential thing for a sustainable long-term income. Fourth thing, make your list. Now, people ignore this. They go, I don't know anybody. That's complete rubbish. We all know a minimum of 150 people. Most of us, if we pick up our phone, have got somewhere between 200 and 400 in it. And people just fundamentally are too frightened to share anything with that list. And they're fundamentally frightened of it because they don't want to be judged by the people they're working with. You know why that happens? Because your why isn't big enough and you're not being taught. You don't have faith and trust in the product. You're ignoring one of the fundamentals. It's a crucial activity to just share this in a way which allows it. And let me just skip the second point to last. I'll come back to it. Use your upline to help you with this. This is what they're for. Their role here is as facilitators and teachers. If the person who sponsored you can't do this, mastermind it together with your upline who's active. So if your sponsor has 5 minutes more skill than you do, that's absolutely fine. Share it with us. We'll do a group call together, work together to make your list work. Coming back to setting your goal. You know, this is a limitless business. One of the things I learned early on in networking is essentially you decide where you end up. The way you end up where you end up is very simply by doing this and doing it and doing it and doing it. You can be absolutely flat broke with no education. You don't know anybody. You can start from 0 in this business and end up as a millionaire in a very short period of time if you do it in the right way and follow these steps. So, what are the steps? Okay, this is the basic, this is the program. Send an appropriate link to somebody. Now we have the web. It's so much simpler than it ever used to be years ago. I can take you back to, actually I'm going to link this back to conferences and the power of the conference, the power of the big event. Sue and I, when we joined the company we were with for 19 years, about 2 years into that experience, we took the decision, we were doing okay. Sue took the decision for us to go to the big conference that they ran in America every year. And this really wasn't an international conference, despite the fact they had a few countries open. It was mainly aimed at the US distributor. And we decided to go, our upline and we, with about 10 other couples and distributors, went to that conference in the US. we came back absolutely fired up. I think of the 11 people who went, about 9 of us went diamond. Diamonds are created at conventions because it gives you the big picture. It doesn't just give you the motivation and the excitement. It gives you the big picture of what the company's talking about, where it's going. You can get into the vision of where this thing is actually going to end up. Actually, not necessarily end up. It's just the path it's on, and that path in itself is exciting and engaging. So back to the process. Send out a link. Contact that person within 48 hours. If you don't have the confidence to do this, and you have shared your list with your upline will work with you to make this happen. If your immediate upline doesn't have the confidence to do this, you go up till you find someone who can. That's in the case of people invited on this call, that means Sue and me. We're very happy to do this. We want to do this. We will do this. I don't know how many times and how many ways I can repeat this. On the number of people you get in touch with. It's about product, it's about business. It doesn't matter whether it's appropriate in terms of timing at that moment. It's the connection that matters and the opportunity to go on reconnecting. Show the business overview, sign up your prospect or don't, but you've got an opportunity to continue to do it. They can become a customer, a preferred customer, a distributor. And I add a different distinction, and that is someone who really wants to go out and start to build an organization. Those are the people who are going to make things happen and happen quickly. And identifying those people is actually quite important. It's another reason why you need to use your upline, because the trust and the confidence comes out of people who've done it, they know how to do it, they convey that, the essence of that to people in a way which enables them to feel confident to use them to help them do it. And then, of course, it's about who else you know. You know this. Now we're duplicating. And you just repeat that process again and again and again. I started out by saying this business is overcomplicated by people. This is the essence of it. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to make this business work for you. You simply have to follow the same system continually and repeat and repeat and repeat. You will duplicate. So, one last thing, I'm going to hand back to Sue, who's going to talk about our Monday nights, because we're going to do a lot more of this very basic stuff. We're going to build some training programs that are actually going to help people to duplicate this, even if they're not on our calls every week. So, hand you back to Sue.
Thank you, Nigel. He always blows me away because he's so passionate about getting this business over in the right way. And to create the right results, which is most important. So we have these calls every Monday at 8 p.m. UK time. That's 9 p.m. in Europe, and it's really we're doing them for you. So you know it's essential that you try and share with your groups, etc. And you know we know everyone's busy. The great thing is that if they register, then they will automatically get the replay link. So it means that they can watch it when the children have gone to bed. They'll, you know, watch it after they've come back from a meal. So it's not a problem. Our contact details are here, as you can see. So Skype, SusieBooth564 or Nigel.Booth1. Email, Viva121@gmail.com, and then a phone number here as well. So just use us. Please use us. And I know that some of you do. And you know, a lot of them think that they're bothering me, and I just go, no, you're fine, it's okay. It's you know, if we can help, and I'll be the first one to tell you if I can't help, then we'll find someone who can help you. So it's really trying to make sure that everyone has exactly the same opportunity with the business, and it's about getting. I don't need to share my screen anymore, so bear with me. It's about making sure that you have all the things that you need. So if you haven't got yourself a business kit, for instance, the J kit, which is here. So that gives you your flip chart. For anyone who is really nervous about presenting, this is great because on the back of it, as you go over, turn it over, it's got what you need to say on the other side. So as long as you can read, you can do it. It's got about the opportunity. It's got a booklet about the opportunity. I love the way this comes out backwards on the screen. It's got about your game plan. And you know, your game plan, as you've just heard, is really important. It's so important to know where you're going and how you're going to achieve it. Because those things are so, so important that you understand how you're going to map out, how you're going to get there. It's that roadmap for your business. So this is a fabulous little booklet. And it all comes in a nice little box. It's got about the products. Now the products are going to change. They're going to add more products as we go on, which is great. So, you know, not everything's in there. Nevo's not in here at the moment. But that will be added as we go. And it's also got about the company. And the company is solid. That's what we really loved about it, was that whole issue of family, and knowing that these people come from the right place, and knowing that they have our interests at heart. You know, they don't need to earn lots of money. They're already extremely wealthy. They really just want to ensure that everyone is going to benefit from, you know, the whole marketing plan, and it's built around that premise really. So for me, those are the things that you need to have. If you haven't got it, it's not extortionate. I think it's £13.47 or something for this. But it comes in a box. It also has a little jump lead, which is a USB port, which every time you put that into your computer, it automatically updates with any new information. So it's constantly on a little stick, and so you can take it with you wherever you are, which is perfect. Business cards. Love my business cards. I've got some new ones now. I've got Zen Body ones. I've got my skincare ones. So it's creating the ones that actually suit you and what you're promoting. I've got my photograph. Oh gosh, look at this. I've got my photograph on the back here. So people, when you meet people out and about, you know, quite often if people go to someone, if you've got their details, and say, "Hi, do you remember me?" And they'll kind of go, "Not really. I got lots of cards that day." And oh, okay. And I said, "Well, remember mine had the photograph on the back. It's got me." "Oh, right, yeah, I remember you." So it just jolts someone's mind as to who you are. Creating an impression on someone, and that first impression is all important. So make sure you look good, you dress nicely, and you're looking the part. You know, have a few samples with you. And let me just grab. Bear with me a second. I've just finished my wonderful Nevo. It took ages to get to us. Nevo is just brilliant. I love it. It's natural. It doesn't interfere with my well-being. It's just such a fabulous drink. So instead of a cup of coffee, that's what I drink now. So it's great to take. But this is great to be able to pack in your handbag or in your suitcase or briefcase, and take with you to a meeting and just say, "Try this. It's our latest product." So it's about being proactive. And there's one particular person that I know, Dawn, who's absolutely killing it with this. She's got football trainer, prospect trainers, so, you know, kind of got this signed up with those to earn extra income. Got her local stationery shop. It's about getting it out there and saying, "Have you tried this? Have you tried this?" But, you know, there's a huge amount of entrepreneurs out there, and they're all looking for a way to make some extra income without too much difficulty either. So if people like it, they'll buy it. So that's it for tonight. It's 9. So we'd like to thank you again for your time. Nigel's gone to go and walk the dog quickly. That's why we're here in UK, house sitting and dog sitting. We look forward to speaking to you next Monday. Now, next Monday, it will probably be Nigel, because I'm at a networking event in London. So I look forward to, or he will look forward to speaking to you, and I have no idea what he's going to talk about. If you've got anything in particular you'd like him to cover, then let us know one way or another, and you can send a message on here even after we've finished the call. So you can send a message and it will be emailed to me. So thank you again for your time this evening on Bank Holiday Monday. Not so many of us today, but I'm sure lots of people will catch up later. So thank you very, very much. Thank you, George, for your compliment. And see you very soon. Lots of love to everyone. Bye.